episode of the VYPE podcast. I'm Will Turlove, as always, joined by Robert Gonsolin and Tinley Kane, and we have another special guest here with us today. Over the phone, we have Rice commit Michael Taft from Austin Westlake. And let's go ahead and get started with the games from this past week. There were a lot of big games, starting with Cy-Fair and Memorial.
Yeah, so Friday night, Cy-Fair kind of dominated Memorial by a score of 31-3. National recruit LJ Johnson returned from having limited action in the past few games. He had an impressive performance of one rushing touchdown and 159 yards. Johnson, on the side, has picked up many offers, but sources say he's leaning more towards the University of Texas or A&M. Cy-Fair will move on to a hot 7-0 record now. And let's jump into the next game. What's our next one?
Yeah, Austin Westlake and Austin Aikens. As we said, we'll have Michael Taft in here. He had a pretty good game, but the guy that we're talking about a lot right now is Cade Klubnik. He's just a junior. He had 193 yards and 2 touchdowns. Michael had a lot to say about him, and we're excited to see that later. Great knack for rush for 88 yards, and he also had a touchdown.
And now moving into more of a Houston area game, we had Houston-Lamar and Houston-Westside, and ultimately Lamar took the win, got 63-21 over Westside. Star player for this game was junior running back Kenneth Kennedy, who had a total of 121 rushing yards for the Texans, contributing 3 touchdowns. And the Texans this game had 3 times as many first downs as the Wolves.
Lamar.
Heading into Katy.
Yeah, this was a huge game. This is probably the biggest game that we'll see in the regular season between Katy and Katy Tompkins. And I believe we made some predictions about this last week.
I would like to say we did say that they were going to win this one, even though a lot of people believe, since Katy hasn't lost a district game since 2008, that they should have won. I mean, by November 8th this year, this would have marked their 8-year winning streak.
Would have been 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
My bad, totally, yeah.
Is this a sign that Tompkins is the new king of that district?
I mean, a lot of tweets have been going out recently saying that this is the new red of Katy, which is pretty great for them.
Well, if you want to talk about just a king, the best player in that district, it's got to be Jalen Milrow. 211 yards, 3 touchdowns.
You say that too, but also for the Falcons, who had quite the night for himself was Josh Mcmillan. He was a transfer from Cy Lakes. He had 8 passes for a total of 146 yards with 3 touchdowns. Quite the debut for his first season with Tompkins.
But don't count out the Tigers yet from Katy. You never know what they have up their sleeve. They have beaten top teams like North Shore in the playoffs after they've lost to them in the regular season before, so you never know what they can do.
Yeah, the team that we always like to cover, Straight Jesuit, they finally got their first home win. This week it was over A-Leaf Taylor. Joel Crawford just put on a show out there. He had 159 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, the Crusaders are moving to a 2-3 district record with 2 upcoming games that they are favored to win. That is against Alvin and A-Leaf Elsick. As for A-Leaf Taylor, they'll move on to a 1-4 record, and they will face their district rival Hastings next week.
Yeah, so if Straight Jesuit wins out, they're probably going to be the 4th best team in District 23. And that would just put them in the playoffs. It's going to be crazy if they win any games in the playoffs. Just not a very strong team, but they're showing signs of a lot of strengths recently.
You have to give credit where credit's due, though. That's a very tough district. You have Shadow Creek, Pearland, and Pearland Dawson, who have absolutely run the table in that district. You never know who will actually come on top in the very end.
Yeah, Dawson has just this year just taken off. I mean, I think that they may be not only the best team in District 23, but they're going to be one of the stronger teams going into the playoffs.
Oh, easily. I can totally agree.
Jane Stewart definitely has been leading that team. Lots of impressive performances.
Well, without further ado, this is our interview with recent Rice commit and Austin Westlake cornerback, Michael Taft. All right, we're here with Austin Westlake cornerback, Michael Taft. Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are y'all?
We're great. So, you're on a roll right now. You're at the top of the division. How are you feeling going into these last few weeks of the season?
I'm feeling good. We're 6-0. Defense is taking care of business. Offense is taking care of business. Really clicking, but we just got to stay hungry and stay healthy, and that drive's got to keep going. It's hard to get off task right now and get distracted with what's going on, but we just got to keep going and know who's in front of us.
Yeah, for sure. And you just had a pretty huge personal accomplishment. You're going to be down here in Houston pretty soon. Why did you choose Rice?
Yeah, man, it was They actually called me 2 weekends ago, so it was a quick turnaround. My whole family lives in Houston. It's really close to home. It's a great school, and it's really the perfect in between, great football and also a great university. So it was really everything that I wanted, and it felt like a no-brainer.
Well, Rice is a great school. Heading back to last season, what was it like to play on that state championship team?
It felt amazing. Those guys were a lot of leaders on the team, a bunch of seniors that stepped up and took care of business, and we just trusted what they were saying and trusted what Coach Dodge had to say, and we bought into the program, and it turned out in our favor.
Now, so you talked about some of those seniors moving on. Has it been hard to carry on the talent y'all have and to just push to a 6-0 start?
It had been pretty hard at the beginning, knowing that we lost a bunch of guys in the back end and then also up front, offensive line. But we got a bunch of guys in my class that are true leaders, and we're handling business, and we're trying to get the guys to do the same things last year, just buy into the program, listen to Coach Dodge, and it'll turn out in our favor.
Yeah, and you've got an absolute stud leading the offense right now, class of 2022. And Cade, what do you have to say about him, and where do you think he's heading?
He's a baller. He doesn't tell me or really anyone where he's leaning towards. I don't think it's going to be a decision anytime soon, but that kid can ball on the field, and he's a great leader off the field too. Everyone likes him on the team. He's a great guy to be around, and he's just an all-around great quarterback that you want your team to be led by. So, great guy. I love him.
So you were saying that during all these times, it's been difficult to keep the focus. What's been the team's main goals throughout these difficult times during the season? I mean, you guys are 6-0, so clearly you're doing something right.
Yeah, I think really the main thing that we've been focusing on is just knowing that we can't take anything for granted, knowing that we could get shut down. Just like 2 weeks ago, we got shut down for a week, just like that. We didn't even know that was coming. That was all in one night. We were getting ready for Monday practice in the morning, and boom, we got a text Sunday night saying, the Austin Public Health Department shut y'all down. We got to be done for a week. No workouts, no practice, no game. So just knowing that we got to take every single practice, every single snap, every single game as serious as it's a state championship kind of gives us that drive and just keeps us on the right path instead of talking about the weekend or what you're going to do over Saturday break or whatever. So I think that's really the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, just this defense is incredible. The offense, of course, this is the first week that y'all didn't score over 50, but total in all the season, you've only given up 13 points. What's been the focus?
Yeah, I mean, our defense coach, our defense coordinator, Coach Tony Salazar, anyone will tell you he's a genius. He knows everything, top of his brain like that. And so what we do is we really just buy into what he's saying and trust everything that he's saying. And whatever he says, we follow. And then we got guys, we got every single one of our starters are seniors. So that tells you something about the leadership, and that tells you something about the experience that we have on the defense. And from the front to the back end, we got guys all across the board.
Now, Michael, you're 6-0, it's your senior season, and you're heading into the playoffs, or playoffs are coming up pretty soon, not next week, but in a couple of weeks. Can you kind of just describe, based on that defensive talent y'all have this year, kind of the excitement going around the team right now, getting to possibly play at different venues in the postseason, and just describe the vibe right now for just the team heading into the postseason in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, we're hot right now. Everyone's got high energy. Like I said, we've all bought into the program. But we were D2 last year, and how it's kind of panning out right now is we'll probably end up being D1 if the odds and the stats go as planned. And I think most teams would probably be scared of that, but every single one on our team is super pumped about that, wanting to show everyone that we didn't win a D2 state championship, we won a 6A state championship, and we'll prove to anyone that doesn't believe that we will win a D1 state championship just as badly as we did D2. So that's kind of our energy. We're hungry. We want to win, and we don't want any cakewalks. Yeah,
for sure. Well, the whole team is balling. You're balling. We're excited to see that you get what you deserve. You're committed to Rice. I really appreciate that you came in and talked to us. See you soon, man.
For sure. Appreciate y'all.
Well, we really appreciate Michael doing that interview with us. We're really excited to see what Westlake can do in the playoffs. But we like to finish off this show recently doing some predictions. So let's go ahead and start off with Denton Guyer and Allen. Tinley?
So I think Denton Guyer should win this game. I'm not too familiar with all of these Dallas schools, but I've heard a lot from Denton Guyer that they are quite the competition. What do you guys think?
Well, Guyer did go to the state finals last year in the 6A Division II playoffs. I think Allen's more of a 6A Division I team usually. Allen's just really historically very good. I'm going with Allen.
Yeah, Allen has had a lot of national exposure in the past few years because of Kyler Murray. Recently people are saying that maybe he should be considered as the greatest Texas high school football quarterback of all time, and they're undefeated this year. So obviously they've got another good quarterback in there. So I'm going to pick Allen.
All right, next game, who we got? Woodlands, Grand Oaks.
The Woodlands, they've knocked down a lot of teams in their path this season. Those teams that they've knocked down, they've been on hot streaks like Lamar. Lamar's on a hot streak, but the Woodlands, they handed them their only loss. I'm going with the Woodlands this year because just because of how nationally they're well known and how well they just play together every single year. I got to go with the Highlanders.
I'm definitely going to have to agree with you. Just the reputation Woodlands has in general, overall sports, actually. I think they should win this game.
Yeah, Woodlands just had a bye week. They had a big win over Willis. Still coming back from that loss against Hightower a few weeks ago. But Oak Ridge, I think they've got Oak Ridge in this game. I'm gonna take the Woodlands.
Heading into Taft now, we have St. Thomas taking on Concordia Lutheran. What do y'all think about this one?
Ooh, I think St. Thomas should definitely win. I think VYPE reported them being the number one team for private schools, so I think St. Thomas should have this.
Yeah, Max Kopp looks great this year. He's on his way. He's actually staying here at the University of Houston, but I think they're one of the best private schools in the state.
They've really, St. Thomas, as in Taft, they've really stuck out as just one of the dominant forces in that entire division. I got to go with St. Thomas. They have a great quarterback this year, lots of weapons. Drake Martinez, Max Kopp, like we were saying. I think they're unstoppable. I got to go with the Eagles.
And the last game that we will be predicting is C. King and Atascocita.
I think Atascocita should win this. They're pretty consistent in the playoffs, so regardless win or lose within the playoffs, I think Atascocita is a tough competition to play, and they definitely take a beating down on their opponents. So I think they should come out with a win.
Atascocita went pretty far in the playoffs last year. This is a team against C. King. This is a team this week that will really test how good they are again for this season. But I think that Atascocita, their momentum is just persisting and staying strong. I got to go with Atascocita.
Yeah, we were talking about Strike Jesuit earlier, that C. King was the first team that they played. They lost by a lot. Cameron Kinchion is just great. He's amazing. He's got some offers from Ivy League schools. But Atascocita, just in the last 3 games, they've won 66-0, 48-10, and then most recently 55-7 against Summer Creek. They're on a huge roll, and they're going to win this game too. So I think all 3 of us picked Atascocita for this one. All right, and next week we will have Santiago Gomez from Lamar and maybe a teammate of his. So we're really looking forward to that, and thank you for listening.